estás? Cremvese azantes. Welcome, video lovers. Welcome to Tech Nerd 1.0. Folks, I'm going to do some more Mini-14 content here. I hope everyone is enjoying this. I'm learning quite a bit myself. As I explained when I did the unboxing of my A-Team edition Mini-14, I also ordered a regular stock, which meaning just a regular wooden stock. I actually ended up ordering also a Hogue stock, which we'll get to in a minute. But quickly found out there is some process to this. Just ordering the stock, there is also other things that you have to have. So I kind of wanted to go over this. I didn't find any videos on this on the internet. So in my quest to provide some more Mini-14 content, I thought I would put these up. So there actually is more parts to a Mini-14 stock than just the stock. There are these lock washers. I don't know if that's what they're called. I'm sorry. I will post, I'll make a note of the name for them. Maybe they're grip washers. I think they're grip washers. Basically the same ones you use for an AR grip will fit in those. So now you need those. And of course you also are going to need the screws. And these are called, again, I'll put this up here so everyone can see it. These are called the Ruger stock reinforcement screws. And for Mini-14 and Mini-30, same for both. And they look like that. And these are going to go in here. And then these are going to go into the stock reinforcement itself. And those are going to give the rifle a kind of a steel reinforcement. Now you can get all of these parts in either stainless or black. And generally you want to match with whatever furniture you have or not. I mean, you can get them, you can mismatch if you want. That's really up to you. So now I cannot show you how to actually put all this stuff in. I can really only show you the components and then the finished product, which we will do. But again, the next part would be the actual stock reinforcement. And that's right there. And that is this little gem here. And it goes that way. And that, again, provides reinforcement for the magazine and the action as it sits in there. The last part that you would need, other than sling swivels if you want those, and we'll get into those in a minute, the other thing is this liner. And this is, they're all very important. This is called the Ruger fore-end liner and stock cap. This is important because basically what it does is it sits in the stock, and because Mini-14s do get somewhat warm when they're shooting, this gives the stock some protection, some heat dissipation from that. Now, can you run the stock without these? I really don't know. I wouldn't suggest it, however, because again, of those issues with the Mini-14, and obviously this is how they're built. This is how Ruger wants them done. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install all of these, and then we'll show you what everything looks like afterwards. And I will tell you, you do want to install the liner and cap first, because that is going to that's going to hang over. It's going to have this little lip here is going to hang over this part of the wood here. And then this is going to go over that. So you want to put that one in first before you do anything. Everyone, we are back and we now have this complete. As I explained, this is the liner down here in the stock, and you have these two little lips going over each other. The reinforcement here is now properly installed, and the reinforcement screw is also installed, and that goes in there. And again, this provides support for the magazine. We're getting that in, and then also when you drop the action in there, that will, and that gives it the support that it needs. All right, one other thing I wanted to talk about with this is the sling swivels. Now I have put some on here. You can, I was able to find some stainless steel and or nickel sling swivels. But the one annoying thing here is that now, if you have a regular Mini-14, it's very likely that they're going to have a swivel right here, right below the gas port. However, mine being the tactical version had one up here, and it can't be removed. It's on the rifle, and that is a bit annoying because it's 1 inch in size. So that very much limits the slings that you can use, because there aren't really a lot out there that are 1 inch. And a lot of people like to use Grand slings, and those are 1 1/4, I believe. So I ended up putting slings here on mine, forward and aft, and I used 1 1/4 inch sling swivels. So that way I can kind of use whatever ones I want to. It does, however, if I'm using this wooden stock, it gives me still with this extra sling swivel up here, which bangs back and forth across. I'm not sure what I'll do about that, but we'll think of something to silence that. Anyhow, though, this is the wooden Mini-14 stock, all fitted out correctly, and it does now. Mine does have this plastic end cap here. I have looked around to see if there are any steel end caps or butt caps. Well, I don't know what they call them, but I have not found any. It's just these. There are some really cheesy aftermarket rubber ones that look like something like Tapco would have made back in the day, but those would increase the length of pull. I really don't need that. I rather enjoy the length of pull the way it is, and I don't need any. I don't really need any support here. I would kind of just like something that looks a little better. If they made a chromed or a stainless or a nickel plated one, that would be great. I would love that. But anyways, folks, that is the wooden stock. Now I want to also show you some differences in the polymer stocks. So hang in there. Okay, so this is the Hogue stock for the Mini-14. And you'll know, I really like Hogue gear. I really like it a lot. Now it does attract a lot of dust and dirt and stuff. You can see just on my workbench, I've already attracted quite a bit of schmutz on here. But these are so nice, so grippy. It's a very hard polymer, and then they are overmolded with rubber, and it just makes for a really amazing feel. And you really can't lose your grip on these. They're just a joy to hold. Hogue makes all sorts of grips they make. In fact, I think I have them for my 590, and I have a couple AR grips as well made by them. But anyways, I just wanted to point out the differences here in the Mini-14 stocks for at least the Hogue, and I believe most of the polymer ones as well. So one important thing to note is that when you get one of these, they're most likely not going to include the stock cap and liner, as you see here. They're going to assume that you're going to use the one out of your current configuration. I did not do that. I went ahead and bought another one, and I got a blued one. And you will have to install one of those if you use one of the polymer or such stocks. You do not, however, need to use the stock reinforcement or the screws. That seems to be molded in with the stock itself, and you can see it's already got that stuff molded in there. And they seem to work fine. They don't seem to need it. I haven't had any issue, and I have not read any issue with these stocks performing badly without that reinforcement. So again, this is the Hogue Mini-14 stock, and this also works for the Mini-30. Again, I will tell you, they do come with one sling stud on the rear. It does not include one on the front, however, and I needed one, so I put in my own in the front. You would probably, now you will have to shorten that because you're going to run, you can see here when I drilled, it poked a little bit into the liner. But you'll have to shorten that screw a bit, and I would probably put some either Loctite or some sort of epoxy in there as well to hold that in. But again, that's the Hogue one. One last thing I want to point out about all of these parts here, if you go on eBay to get them, you're going to pay almost double what they cost. They are available, but they're very expensive. If you go on a Ruger site, they'll be available there. They're less. They are less than what they are on eBay, but still somewhat expensive for what they are. If you go on a site like Midway, however, they are actually pretty inexpensive. So I would go on there. Now I know Midway's shipping can be a lot sometimes, but they have done better with that lately. So I would suggest going on there if that's what you're going to do. And they sometimes will offer free shipping. So look out for deals there. All right, folks, that's about it. That's all I wanted to show you. I'm not going to show the rifle made up in each one of these stocks. We'll save that for another video later. And I want to make sure YouTube does not think that I am constructing anything. So there we have it, folks. I hope you got something out of this video today. I hope this was informative. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe. And also leave a comment down below if you've had any experience with Mini-14 stocks, what you think of them, what you think of any other stocks that are available, and post your feelings down below in the doobly-doo, and I will answer all of them. So thank you, everyone. Stay sharp, stay ready, and keep on prepping. Tac Nerd out.
Welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. I hope you liked the video, and remember to like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you think by making a comment below.